Well, the pedophiles are finally exposed. In my hands, I have 70 of the 200 people listed in the court case. We're gonna go over the biggest names and who they are. Imagine if your boss was on this list. Instead of releasing the full 200 names, they're releasing it slowly like an advent calendar. I feel like they're teasing us like a Mormon girl. My CEO is probably on that list. 5 years after Epstein committed suicide, these documents finally come to light. And if you don't know who Epstein is, well, here's a quick recap. Jeffrey Epstein was a famous financier and was known for his sex trafficking ring. He was an accountant for the ring and was the king of getting blackmail. He would lure A-listed celebrities to his island and record them doing illicit activities with minors. He has a famous picture of Bill Clinton in a dress. This is how it looks. The picture is very important because it showed how Epstein had the former president in his pocket. Jeffrey Epstein was caught for his crimes and was put on trial. While awaiting his trial, he was found dead in his cell. During the time of his death, there were no guards around, and the cameras looking at his cell lost power. Interesting, right? His autopsy was indicative of strangle marks, not hanging marks. On his autopsy, it went from the Adam's apple down to his collarbone, showing that he was strangled down. If he was hanging, it would have been hanging up. Hanging marks have a direction from the Adam's apple to the jawline. However, on his autopsy, it had Adam's apple down to the collarbone. Weird. Thus borning the meme, Epstein didn't kill himself. A couple of people were redacted off the list. One of the reasons for that was that one of them was a private citizen that also had a similar name to a public person. To avoid definite confusion, the courts decided to take off their name. Just a little disclaimer, this video was made in the first hour of the list and documents being released. Some people on the list are victims of Epstein's crimes, others are committers of these crimes, so take everything with a grain of salt and do your own due diligence. But without further ado, here are a couple of names on the list and a little bit about them. First, we have Bradley Edwards. He's a convicted serial killer. Edwards has killed at least 3 people, and he's confessed into breaking into a home of an 18-year-old woman who he said he knew and was assaulting her in 1988. Imagine inviting a committed murderer to your island. A lot of shady things going on over there. Next up, we have Luis Frias. He's a former director of the FBI. I think that was an interesting find. What is the FBI guy doing over there? Maybe he's investigating, maybe he's a pedophile, we don't know. Meg Garvin is the executive director of the National Crime Victim Law Institute, is recognized as a leading expert on victim rights. This one too is a little tricky. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't really know what she's doing over there or in the court case. Maybe she's in the courtroom as like a specialized lead. Next up on the list, we have Stanley Pottinger. He's a former U.S. Assistant Attorney General. I'll make following video on him. She has an interesting background. Next up on the list, we have Joseph Rrer. Rrer is one of the most decorated police officers in the history of the department. What I've noticed that a lot of these people are from Palms, Florida, probably because Epstein was also from Palms. An honorable mention is Bill Richardson, which is the former governor of New Mexico. A little bit more on Richardson. Richardson would announce the withdrawal in the 2008 presidential race for a scandal for funneling more than $100K in campaign contributions in order to win state bonds. I'll make a more in-depth video when I get more information on the court case. Please subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video, and happy investing.